Hello everyone, welcome back to the AFTTTI Talks podcast, and I am your host, Yvonne Mwangi. This month, being the month of men's mental health, we are going to debunk what do we understand about men's mental health. Why is it difficult for men to share their emotions or their feelings? Today we're going to have our guest, Mr. Edwin Agesa, who is the principal at AFTTTI Training Institute. He also acts as a guidance and counselor for all our students, guiding them through their courses and their careers. He's also a writer, a blogger, a radio host presenter, and a lot of many other things in this industry. Help me welcome Mr. Edwin Agesa.
Thank you so much.
Men's mental health. There are a lot of myths and misconceptions in the industry. What's the one thing that we as a society do not understand about men's mental health?
I think as a society we've been wired to think that man is supposed to be strong, day in, day out, 365, 24 hours a week. Okay, so it's a thing. So I think in terms of mental health, it has always been thought of as a weakness whenever men tend to complain. So whenever we speak about mental health, especially in men, as a society we put so much expectations on the man that we don't actually see that same man breaking up. So I know this is the month that we normally focus on men's mental health, but now as a society we just keep on reminding each other that a man is also, at the end of the day, is also human. So he also goes through the same struggles, goes through the same depressive states, struggles in each and everything that he does. So it's not okay being just concluding that every single time this man is supposed to be strong. So we normally get to breaking points, and as a society we need to realize that a man is also human.
And do you give each other that grace to understand that you're also human?
I think with men, whenever you are in a group of men, because for me, I understand these things. Whenever you're in a group of men, mental health is thought of as a joke. Okay, so it's not something that we kind of talk about it is in a serious way. Like whenever, let's say you have a family, that same family is broken up. Whenever you go and tell your friends the same thing, they start making jokes out of it. Okay, so we never take this thing seriously or maybe talk about it, because we know mostly our friend groups are there to just make fun of these situations, and that's why as men we rarely tend to open up when it comes to even those small circles of men. Okay, because we feel like if I say I am struggling, that kind of lowers my value as a man. So I tend to want to keep my reputation to maintain that starts with that I am strong, I am able, so there is no weakness that is going to take me down. So mostly in our friend groups we tend to just ignore the fact that we are struggling. So any stories that we are telling our friends, we are not telling them struggle stories, we are telling them success stories. And that's how it tends to now come around and bite us.
You mentioned jokes, that you guys as men, when you open up, your fellow men make jokes about it.
Yeah.
Is it because you guys are scared to share your emotions and you're making these jokes as a cover up to try and hide the thing that you're dealing with? Or is it that you've not been guided since you've grown up as a boy and as a man being told men are supposed to be strong? There's no other place for you to go except for the jokes.
Yeah, I think it's a coping mechanism. Okay, because when we make jokes a lot as men, it's trying to hide that thing, okay, so that you put it aside, because as a man, it's basically engraved in us since childhood. Okay, if you're on a bike, you fall down, you're told, you're a man, you're not supposed to cry. Okay, something hurts you, you're not supposed to react in any way. So all reactions are supposed to be very positive. They're not supposed to be negative. So you're there handling situations, whatever hardships that you go through, you're handling it as a man, as the way society has told you to do. Okay, so the jokes, like I said, coping mechanism. Okay, we're not trying to take this thing seriously, because we know if we take it seriously, it becomes like a very big thing. And now it's blown into proportion, and that's why now you tend to get a lot of jokes made in that circle of men. Okay, so it's the upbringing that we have had as men, okay, and also the pressure that society has placed upon us. So we are saying if we break down, who are we going to live?
But now, doesn't that become a challenge to you, especially in your position as a principal and also as a guidance and counselor, when our male students are struggling?
Yeah, because it is a challenge, because now for me, first of all, it's I think it's also tied to my generation, okay, because whenever you speak about millennials are not too outgoing in terms of emotion, especially from a man's perspective. Okay, but now when you come to now, because right now I'm dealing with Gen Zs as students, and you're finding like more Gen Zs are opening up. So Gen Zs are more open. So actually, I'm glad that it's making my job easy, because I can know, okay, there's a struggle point, this person is struggling with this thing, so I can be able to know how to address it. But now I was thinking, if I was born in that age that I'm handling millennial cases, it would have been very difficult, because for millennials, we are using that same format of life that was being used by boomers and Gen X and the likes. Okay? Because for them, they knew that a man is just supposed to be responsible. Even for me, the way that I behave, in case there is something that is very difficult, just, you know how you close a bottle of water? That is what we do. Okay? Because we've been taught to bottle up everything. But now for me, especially in my role, dealing with Gen Z students and Gen Z men, they are very expressive. So it's very easy to point out. Even the reason I think maybe so many people are talking about men's mental health is because now more people are opening up, and we're being taught that by the kind of upcoming generations, the newer generations. Because now we have men that are more expressive. Yeah.
Do you think that creates a crack in the millennial men who are trying to help the Gen Z get to their emotions? Because for the millennial men, nobody guided them to their emotions. So it creates a psychological crack in terms of, I'm helping this man deal with his emotions, but how am I guiding him? With what format? Because maybe mwenyewe sina. So what format do you use when you're guiding them? Because you yourself, you didn't have a format.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Umelelewa na ile ya ngumu. But now you're having just this coming to you and telling you, I'm feeling this, I'm fighting with this. This girl I approached, she rejected me, how am I supposed to deal? So where do you get the format to guide the students?
I think for me, because now we didn't quite, like the mentorship that we got was very different from what we're trying to give this. So from a millennial perspective, you're trying to change things, okay? Because what you went through, even for you as a millennial, you consider it like barbaric, something that was not supposed to happen. Because now if you're blocked in and you're locked in with your emotions, you knew that it was dangerous for you. Okay? So growing up,
did you know it was dangerous, or did you come to realize it was dangerous when it came to bite you?
Yeah, because now when you grow up, you realize like, I should have said this, I should have done this differently. So that is the same model that we're using for Gen Z, because we don't want to repeat the mistakes that we went through. So that experience, it was very bad for us. Okay? So we're trying to, and I always like this thing of, though maybe Gen Zs are saying millennials are a bit difficult to deal with, but now what I feel, especially as an individual, I feel like millennials are trying to make it easier for the next generations. So that now you have space to talk about your emotions, you have space to talk about all the other things that you feel. Okay, but now for us, like for me growing up, I didn't have a podcast. I didn't have people on podcast. These days everyone has a podcast, people are just opening up, okay? So you see, so when you get more people opening up, it becomes easy for the next generation of men, because now they feel like it's not complicated, it's not a bad thing to open up. But for us, it was a bad thing. No one is supposed to know, okay? I'm just supposed to share my success stories. And that's what most millennials are seeing on Facebook. I'm supposed to share, right? Yeah, we only share positive things. Anything that we're struggling with, we are seeing. Like for me, I remember the first time I felt like, you guys are opening up too much. Like I
that was your first reaction?
Yeah, that's my first reaction, because I think we've spoken before in conversation where I've told you, like, there are things that I can't tell people. Even if the DCI hounds you, like I'm being tortured by the CIA. I can't open up, okay? But now you're seeing people all over. You get on Facebook, there's a whole story about someone, oh, I went through this struggle, there's this thing that I did, I was depressed. For me, like, me sitting down and telling someone that, oh, this is a situation that I went through, it feels like very wrong for me.
You feeling vulnerable feels wrong.
Yeah, exactly, okay? Because you don't want that person to see you in your moment of weakness. Like, you never want that, because that's what we learn from our parents. But then, you know, for me personally, growing up, I didn't know my parents were struggling. Like anything, oh, we don't have money, so you don't have nothing. So everything was covered up. But now, you're growing up, you get to a level where you're struggling and you wonder, what? People struggle. How are these people doing it? Okay?
But do you feel at the same time that yes, it's okay to open up, yes, it's okay to be vulnerable and share your emotions, and like you said, you didn't know when your parents were struggling with anything. But now, parents are opening up about the struggles and they're sharing about the struggles that they have. So, do you feel like sometimes it goes overboard? Whereby the parents are now sharing way too much about the struggles that they're dealing with. And now a student comes to you and tells you, Ejana tukukula, arasijifina toka wapi. Do you feel like there's also now that extreme end, and how do you deal with that?
Because there are levels to it, but now, obviously sometimes it weirds me out whenever people tend to overshare. But now maybe that's from my millennial perspective, because now I feel like, well, I should not be able to know that about you, okay? And now if you're handling cases, especially with students, you have to be ready to face those kind of overshare moments, okay? Because now you've learned that this is a new generation, this is how they've been taught. Because from a very young age, these people just share everything. They'll tell you, I did this, I did this, I did this. Okay, so it's like a report. Okay, so you're being told things you're not even, like,
you weren't even aware.
Yeah, you didn't want even to know. Okay, but now you're in this situation and you just have to, okay, and I know maybe the same parents of these Gen Zs and Gen Alpha, they've landed into this community of social media. And you know, social media oversharing is just like everywhere. Like you just wake up in the morning, someone has already broken down whatever they wanted to say. So it's a bit maybe oversharing, yes, but now with the age of social media, you never quite know, is this person like genuinely oversharing or they just want to like get attention from you? Because it's like dopamine effect. Okay, like yes, I'm suffering, blah blah blah. So people come in, they like, they comment. So it might be a social media thing also, okay, because with social media it has come to, like, it's a whole different aspect in terms of oversharing.
A quick message from AFTTTI Training Institute. Are you passionate about storytelling, film, TV, music? We offer industry-based trainings in film and TV production, acting for film, TV and theatre, music and artistic development, and even content creation. For more information, you can reach us on 0114 224 400. You mentioned oversharing. Currently we have story time on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere. And people are sharing about their relationships. And most men, unfortunately, it's showing that most men are cheating. And some of them are dealing with heartbreaks in their own way. Do you have situations where students come and share about their relationships with you?
Yes, I had a case last year. It was very, I don't know, like, it felt a bit weird. There was a student who was trying to date a student, okay? So the thing is, the female student in this case, she felt a bit like reserved because this guy was coming on. He was too forward, too strong, okay? Because you know, in a place or in a space where you know those women who haven't gotten flowers. So this case was about that, okay? Like, this boy wants to take me out, wants to buy me flowers, and for me I feel like that's too strong, okay? Because you're not used to that, okay? So I was looking at that case and we were trying to joke around it, obviously, because it was a semester 5 student, and they were kind of finishing. So and I asked her, did you go on the date? She said yes. Yeah,
okay.
she said yes. Okay. So it was very confusing for the boy in this case because he was confused because he was looking at that moment and thinking, but she agreed to go on the date. So why is she ghosting me? Not even complaining, like ghosting. Because it was
so
it was
the
very
male
weird.
student came on too strong.
Yeah.
But she still went on the date.
She still went on the date.
And now after the date, she ghosted him.
Yeah. And now you see, it was complicated because they are in the same school.
In the same class?
It's the same school. No, the other was an acting student. Okay. So they were probably run into each other. So it's very difficult to ghost someone like
in the same environment.
In the same environment.
Okay.
So even for her, it was a bit complicated because she kept thinking, now that I went on this date, it has given me too much pressure to accept. Okay, because I already went on a date. I took the flowers. Okay, it was a coffee kind of date. Okay, so she has pressure from the boy because now the boy wants another date.
And how did this boy take the rejection?
And it was very complicated because I remember even the parent came in one time.
About the relationship?
We had to, because even the parent actually mentioned in secrecy.
Okay.
The parent mentioned that, okay, there's a girl that my
son is interested.
Yeah. And I felt like maybe there was a problem because there was kind of misunderstanding. So what I did when I sat down with the boy, because I had to do like separate meetings. So I sat down with the girl, sat down with the parent, sat down with the boy, and I told the boy that sometimes we do these things because as men we need to learn how to handle rejections. Because we're not trying to, that old school method of dating where you keep on knocking, hoping that finally the door will open. Okay, so I just told him sometimes the door doesn't open, and you have to live with that because as a man, that's what you have to go through. Not everyone that you ask out or do things or do nice things will be able to accept that. Because now for the girl in this situation, for her she was kind of weirded out because she's saying flowers. I don't need flowers. Okay, you know how Nairobi dating is. Sometimes like when you come on too strong, most women tend to kind of pull back. So that was the same thing that was happening in that case. Okay, so when I sat down and I told the boy that sometimes things happen and they don't have to accept right away. Okay, and sometimes they don't at all. So he understood and he kind of ended things. So it wasn't weird at all. They actually became friends.
After everything?
Yeah, after everything. So it was just a normal, you took me out, it's okay.
But do you think that's the same way relationships are handled with grown-ups, with adults?
I think with adults...
When it comes to the rejection, why is it that...
I think rejection feels a bit... It used to feel like harder for men, but right now it's harder for women. Okay, controversial opinion. It's harder for...
But she said controversial.
Okay. Because I think in most cases, especially for a generation that hasn't been taught how to accept rejection, that's when now you start getting people struggling with relationships and all that. And also that pressure from society to stick with your relationship, no matter the ups and downs and all those things. Because now, from your parents' generation, they went through like hardships. There was cheating, there's another whole family in Kakamega. So you see, so for them, like they got to a point where it became a normal thing. Okay, because they understood that, okay, traditionally we've been taught men are supposed to be polygamous, blah, 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 all those things. But now, you're getting into a new generation that is more informed, especially in terms of women. Women are more informed, so they kind of understand their worth. So whenever someone new is being introduced into the relationship, it becomes very serious. Because now they know this is my territory. I have to protect it. Okay? But now for the older generation, it was more of acceptance. You have 5 wives, that's okay. But right now you're in a like multiple relationship, that's dangerous. Okay? Like that's dangerous, something might happen. Okay, so for the older generation trying to handle relationships, you're handling relationships in the age of social media. you handle relationships in the age of information. Okay, because now for me, like my experience, especially in terms of marriage and relationships, you're being taught by your father to pick women that are not very advanced in terms of education. Okay, so you didn't want, because your parents did not want competition or maybe someone speaking back to them. But now you get into a generation that, especially for millennials want someone that is on the same level in terms of intellectual capacity. So I want you to help me think.
Yeah.
And if you meet that kind of person, they will not allow other aspects of that relationship. So it becomes difficult whenever you're dealing with maybe infidelity and all those other things.
I love the fact that you mentioned millennials were looking for people who were at par mentally, academically. Do you think that also still creates bridges in terms of men want a modern woman when it comes to understanding what's happening in society?
Yeah.
But in the house, they want a traditional woman. But when it comes to the bills, they still again want a modern woman. So how do you create that balance?
Okay, because I feel like the same happens for women. Okay, women want a more expressive man. Okay, a man that is in touch with
his
emotions,
yes.
blah blah blah. But now when it gets to the house, they want a leader, okay? A strong person. Okay, so we kind of do.
So how do we help each other?
So the only way we can help each other, this is something that I want to talk about, because sometimes you might think that it's old school, it's traditional and all that. But now for me, I feel like if everyone understands their role and they don't forget their roles, it becomes easy. Okay. So whenever there's an issue or maybe there's a problem, you know that maybe this problem can be handled by a man. But now if the man is not there, the woman can also take up charge. Okay, so it's about giving each other that space to also express yourself and maybe take on responsibilities, which I feel like most relationships don't do that, because now we're kind of sticking to the fact that, oh, okay, if it's bills, yes, we want 50-50, but are you sure? Okay, because in a relationship, there's nothing as 50-50. That is a foreign concept, and it has never happened. There are days that I'm 20, you're 80, okay, and we have to live with that fact. So in terms of 50-50, I've never figured out 50-50. We will never be balanced.
But now we have generations where were you raised with that? 50? Understanding of 80-20?
No. I was actually not raised by percentage. I swear. Okay, so it was just 100% the man. Okay, because if you're taking this woman from their home, everything that this woman does is your responsibility. Okay, so it's 100%. So there is no sharing. Okay, for me, I was raised with no percentages. So it is your responsibility as a man to do this.
And in this society, do you feel like it's still that 100%? Do you feel like there's a balance, or do you feel like there's still this fight of 50-50?
I think with the reason why we even tend to come to a place where we are fighting is because now there's people who are still trying to stick with the whole 100%. So as a man, you're supposed to take care of everything. But now there's the other one who are trying to now come up with the whole aspect of, okay, we are supposed to be sharing. Because now the thing came with, I think, gender equality, okay, because we're trying to make sure that the two genders kind of had the same responsibilities and did things in terms of accomplishing what they were given. Okay, so that kind of also confused men. Because now men, originally by tradition, were just supposed to take care of everything. But now if someone is coming in with a better option, so we just try to, okay,
did we really come up with
yes,
a better option, or it's human who are like, oh, now you're earning?
We took advantage of that because we thought that, oh, okay, you're coming in as a help. And you're not just helping the normal chores in the house, you're coming in financial help. So even for other men, they kind of took a back and just thought, okay, I need that. So even for them, whenever they get into relationships, they're trying to force the whole aspect of, but you guys have been fighting for 50-50. So we just chip in. So we're just trying to also share. Okay, so it's a good thing for us, by the way.
It's a good thing for you that we are.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. But now the thing is, it's a good thing on paper. In real life.
In reality, for example, it's very different. how do you think this imbalance or lack of understanding each other in different ways we grew up, the 100% 0, 50-50, 80-20, the whole balance, how do you think that affects men in terms of provision?
Because now, there's this experience that I had when I was dating, where now these girls started buying gifts, okay? So you're not used
She's
to
buying
that.
you gifts.
Yeah, she's buying me gifts. So you're not used to that, okay? So it's very shocking because you wonder, why are you doing that? Okay, it's not your responsibility. I'm supposed to be the one that is buying things, okay? So ile unatumiwa fare.
Unatumiwa fare kama nawe. Hey!
Kwani kwa Uber, man. Good
Enjoying life.
It was good. So you see, so it is the same thing. So when you come from that family where you're kind of not used to surprises, so it freaks you out a bit. But now, when it freaks you out, it starts fading and now you start enjoying it. Okay? So when you start enjoying it, you kind of now start turning down these other responsibilities because you know, okay, if it's 50-50,
and she's already doing it.
And she's doing it, so why am I struggling so much? Okay? So you find that you're raising a generation that knows that the woman is also coming in with a little something. So for me, I don't have to go 100%. I can go 50-50. But now this same woman that knows, there's that kind of, I don't know if it's a saying or something, my money is mine.
Yeah.
Your money is ours.
Yes, my money is my money, your money is our money.
Yeah, our money, okay? So this woman also comes into the relationship with that aspect, okay? So when you say 50-50, she's confused, but why are you sleeping? Okay? Your fellow men are outside fighting wild cats and you're sleeping, okay? So it's a problem. So because for you as a man, you've accepted what women have been telling you. They want gender equality, so they are earning, so they should also contribute to society. Okay? But now this woman knows that, but still wants you to do the heavy lifting. Because now you are the man in this relationship. Why are you telling me that I'm supposed to contribute?
Yes, because we are helping. You're supposed to be doing something for us to be able to help you.
We are coming in with 50.
But now...
Okay. Because now you guys, the thing is that the
how we're supposed to be helpers, right?
You guys,
we are
wanted to solve a problem.
We are supposed to be helpers,
yes.
Right? So how are we helping you? We're not doing anything.
See, we're not doing anything because we're playing our part. Now that you put us in a different arrangement, because I know if I go out and hustle, I will bring 100%. But right now, I'm relaxing because I know I'm only bringing 50. Okay, because now you guys created a problem, trying to solve the problem, but now trying to solve that
create a problem?
Equality.
We're not trying to create a problem. We're
I
trying to fight for our
you are trying to solve a problem.
Yes.
But now the same problem became a bigger problem. Because now if you're fighting for gender equality, it means that you're trying to come to the same level with men. So in terms of responsibility, it should not be forgotten. Your gender should be equal, but also responsibility should also tally to the same equality. Okay? So it was in good faith, by the way. Okay? Yeah, women can vote. Women can go to school, women can do all these other things.
Men can take care of children.
Yes.
They can also clean the house.
They are stay-at-home dads. They actually stay at home. It's weird, but okay.
What should be a stay-at-home dad?
It's very weird for me, okay? Because even, like, you know these men that are used to, like, you're doing something, okay? Like, I don't know if you've ever seen your father on holiday.
He's not in the house.
That's the problem. Because even for me, whenever I saw my grandfather, whenever he was free, like in retirement, so he wakes up in the morning, starts going to
meetings.
Like random meetings. Okay, so there's a village and there's a fagia compound. It's not even dirty, but he just has to do something. Okay, so that's our problem. So I know right now we're getting like a generation of like stay-at-home dads. Okay, it is there. They was trying to flip the whole gender system. Okay, so yeah. So for men, it's actually a nice thing. Right now we can sit home and also focus until 11 a.m.
But what about the men who are complaining that us we are earning, now that we are earning, we've lost respect for you as well?
I think.
Do Do you
The
think
more
it's
money-
because about is
This
it because of the money
This
or
is very good.
wait is it because of the money or as you have stated those men pull back on their responsibilities because now they're saying that this woman is also capable. So when we see you pull back on your responsibilities,
Because I think women are attracted to men with power.
explain.
Women want to see you doing better than them.
Yes.
Okay? So you see, so women want to see you doing better than them. So when they start doing better than you, that's a problem. Okay? Because now, if you start earning more, men will not tell you this, okay? Because I know men are, we're proud, we're very proud by the way. Okay, so if you're doing better than me, I'm kind of jealous, but I'm hoping the best for you. I'm still praying for you to win, but I'm praying for me to win more, okay? So if you're making more money than me, we might say that maybe I've seen a relationship where the woman is actually powerful, blah, blah, blah. Like those people who did female governance. Okay, the first man. I don't know if it's the first man. Okay, so you look at them and you can just tell it. You know, you look someone in the eye and you can just tell, hey, bro, you're suffering. Okay, because as a man, you've been taught to be a leader. You've been taught to be up there. So as a woman, they want to look to someone that is up there. Okay, so you might find that all these relationships where the woman is kind of making more or maybe more successful, they will not show you outright that it's a struggle for the man, but deep.
Is it our money that's the problem or your insecurities as the man? Because now
Men are very, I know in the past we used to speak about maybe women being insecure, but men are more insecure, okay, especially when it comes to you hurting their pride. Men are very proud creatures, okay, so they have like a lot of insecurities. So if you're doing better, and that's why men don't date women out of their league, okay. Men are very accommodative of women who are not successful. Women are not. Okay, women who are more successful.
No comment.
But then women date up, men date down. That's a thing, okay? Men date downwards, okay? They tend to date people that are below their class. But women don't do that, okay? So if you're more successful, you will start looking at more successful people. Even in interactions, the way you come into the house, my interactions with you, you don't start treating me like a low-level life kind of person. Because now, especially, and that's why I normally feel pity for people who take on like stay-at-home dads and all those things. Okay, because by the end of the day, when the woman is coming in, she's tired, blah, 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 all those things. So you're there trying to take care of her. So you do this. So it kind of degrades you. And as a man, that hurts you. Your pride. Because we are proud people. Okay, so it kind of affects even our motivation, and that's when you start getting people that are depressed and they kind of like losing the plot because they feel like they don't have a sense of direction. Men want to be admired. You know, we normally say that women are like the ones who are seeking attention, but now men, when it comes to especially that admiration, adoration, you want people to respect you.
Men need, there's a saying that states men need respect and admiration to feel loved, while women need love to feel loved.
Exactly. Okay. Because men, with the concept of love, they want the moment, even relationships are actually easy when the woman respects the man. Just respect. Even if you're making more money than the man, you're more successful. If you respect this man, that guy will stay in the house.
But now what does respect mean to you as a man? Because I think there's also that disconnection of what we as women understand as respect and what you men understand as respect.
Because for me, respect comes down to tone. Because for me, I don't know, maybe it's the wiring, but now I can tell when someone is being disrespectful by the way they speak to me or talk to me. Okay? Kuna hiyo inaitwa condescending tone. Okay? And most women use it without knowing. Okay, because it happens a lot, especially in relationships, it happens a lot. Because now for a woman, she might think that I didn't say anything disrespectful. But now it is not what she said, it's how she said it. That matters. So that condescending tone, the moment that I feel like, oh okay, this is belittling, respect is out of the window. So I know this woman sees me as like a low life person, so I'm not important to her. And once a man starts feeling like he's not important, that kind of just breaks the whole manhood kind of system.
And do you think that is also what brings about femicide?
I think most femicide cases are normally out of insecurities, especially for the man, because now you can see all the entire aspect of maybe what kind of pushes these men to do these things. Okay, maybe this woman was dating someone else, or out of jealousy, because men are very jealous. But you think women are jealous, men are jealous, like extremely jealous. Okay, so those insecurities, not being able to have high self-esteem about yourself, because I think once a man has like high self-esteem, it helps him to make like very good decisions. But now once he's feeling insecure about himself, and that's why now you're feeling all these cases coming up, because now you're coming up with a generation that doesn't know how to handle these infidelity cases, cheating, blah blah blah, all those things.
So what would your advice be to the men that are raising sons, the men that are mentoring other young men in terms of mental health, so they're able to be in happy, successful relationships, not just in a relationship man and woman, but also at work, in life, with their families? What would you advise? What would you advise them?
So my first advice: stop listening to Manosphere podcast. They don't help, because whatever that agenda that is being sold in podcasts, I don't know, it's very degrading, especially to women, because I feel like women are just normal human beings, so we have to learn how to treat women. I think it's a thing. We need to learn how to treat women, because women are complicated. It's a whole spectrum of emotions, whatever.
We are not that complicated.
Jesus Christ. It's like 1,000 books about women. Okay. So we need to have more mentors, like in terms of positivity, not negative. Okay, we don't have to. Like for me, I don't need to be in competition with women. Okay, I understand my roles as a man. She understands her role as a woman. That's it. So we need to have more mentors, especially for fathers that are raising kids. Sit down with the kids, man. Okay, because we are barely spending time with our families, and that's a problem. Because now we're creating sons that are very disconnected, so they don't even know how to treat women. Okay, you as a father, you rarely take your wife to dates. Why are you not doing that? Okay, because just learn those. You know, the thing about children learn better by imitating
And observation.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and that's why I normally feel like that generation that played Kalongo, they're very good wives. I swear. I swear. Because I felt like they were taught how to take care of families, okay? Yes. Right now you have kids with phones, man, they're on TikTok. So how do you guide someone that is 24 hours on TikTok, scrolling through and all that, okay? So we need to have more mentors, especially for men, okay? Because once we have these mentors, they can be able to impart these kids on how to be able to treat women. So once they learn that, they can know that I know how to handle rejection. I know how to handle women's emotions. Okay, I know when to speak. Okay, because women, especially if you've been to relationships and marriage, there's baits that women throw so that you bite. And now it's chaos. So once you learn all these small, just like non-verbal cues, you understand. Because me, like I said, through tone, I just tell this person is angry. So I don't need to keep poking the bear. Okay, I have to understand, maybe relax as a man. Okay, because the thing even that leads to maybe femicide cases is all that back and forth. Because now for you as a man, we haven't mastered the art of emotional intelligence. Okay, for men it's still a problem up until today. Okay, because women are better at it. Because you might argue with a woman, the next minute she's cooking, she's okay. But for you, you're like just burning. Okay, because now for you, you haven't learned that. Oh, okay, it's something that happens. Because relationships are not supposed to be peaceful. Okay, you know, we get into relationships with the idea that this is going to be rainbows and flowers all through. As a man, you have to know there are days you will not eat in that house, okay? You will probably sleep in the sitting room on the couch or something. But now, this is part of it, because you have to grow, you have to go through it, okay? So it's about just preparing these kids, these boys, these young men, to know that relationship is not flowers. You have to go through struggles, you have to know how to treat women, you have to know how to treat, you have the different relationships, even with your parents, everyone around you, okay? So it's not just about the woman, even everyone around you, even at work, okay? Because at work you don't want people to feel weird around you. You want them to feel, oh, okay, I'm accepted, I can be able to help in this way and this way, okay? So that now, in case you're at work, there's always rejections everywhere. Okay, there's a project that came up, you're not included. That's okay. Your turn. Wait for your turn. Okay? So that's about growth. Once that mindset is grown, this boy can be able to handle everything. So everything that gets thrown at them, they will not get back into their small box and complain about it. No. They know that this is a phase, it will probably go. Okay. So in Tonga, there's they say these two shall pass.
Yeah.
I like it.
My very last question. Now that you understand the difference between how you were raised, in terms of the man taking 100% and the woman taking 0%, and now you understand there's supposed to be balance, that men are still lacking when it comes to emotional intelligence, and it's something that they should work on. And men don't need to condescend women in order to seem powerful. With that understanding, what would be your message to the older generation of men? Those that are still struggling with that mentality, those that are still struggling with a man has to be masculine, a man does not have a Vaseline. There are men actually use that statement. A Vaseline. Unapakwa kitex na mtoto wako kwa mikono because she's just playing around, she's a girl, she's just playing around, and you act like it's the third world war. What would be your message to them?
I think for the older generation, there's a new, with each generation there's either an improvement or whatever, the opposite of it, okay? But now for the men, especially the older men, they're the ones who are supposed to be our guide. Okay, they're also supposed to be mentors and all these other things. But now at the same time, they're also supposed to understand there's a new way. It's called like a new world order. There's a new way that things are getting done. Okay? Because the older generation, you're like, no, I don't listen to women's opinions. But now the younger generation is like, oh, I need to listen. Okay? Because now, it's just about now them knowing that their generation, there's a way they did things, which is no longer the same way things are being done right now. Okay, so once they understand that, it will be very easy for them to even relate to the younger generation. Because now they understand that, oh, okay, my way of thinking, my way of doing things is past. It's done. So I have to live in this world, because where are you going? Okay. As long as you're still here, you just, when you go to Rome, it's the same thing. Okay? So as long as you're still here, you just do the same things that these kids or these young people are doing. Okay, I'm not saying you do them, like you apply lipstick and whatever. Okay, I'm just saying there's a way, there's like a new way things are being done. So it's just you trying to get out of your old school mentality and accepting the fact that men can be vulnerable, men can share their feelings, men can be in the same room with women and actually listen to the same women share their ideas. Okay, so it's about acceptance. Okay, your way was good, it worked for you. Back then. And now you have a new generation that is doing things different. And you just have to get on with the syllabus, the curriculum.
Okay, bonus question. I know I'd say that's the last question, but bonus question. Men's mental health, is it their duty or our duty to learn and understand and take care of it?
I think we need to, it's everyone's responsibility. Because I really feel like, especially for women, they should be able to create safe spaces. And when I talk about safe spaces, that's home. Okay, that's where you live, that's where you stay with your husband, with your boyfriend, etc. Okay, so they have to feel like I am in a zone, I am in a space that I'm accepted. I'm in a space that can help me to grow. So if I have something that I'm struggling with, I'll probably share with this person, and it will not be turned back against me. The reason why we don't share, because men have like dark, whatever. Okay, it's very twisted inside this head, okay? But now you want to share that in a space that you feel safe. And that's why I normally say, especially for the women's part, if you're in these relationships, try to make your environment safer for these men. Because whatever these guys are fighting out there, it's bad. Like, it's really bad, because the whole world is turned against men from a very young age, because you're taking on a responsibility, okay? You see. So for women, I think in that case, you just create that environment where this man now feels, I can finally do this, okay? Because I don't like the fact that women tend to trick your struggles, and now the moment you argue or do something, your father did not like you. I told you that in confidence, okay? Because I felt safer around you.
Yeah.
So the thing about maybe making sure that men share and become more vulnerable and now avoid depression and all the other mental health issues is to do that. And also now, not just for women, also for their fellow men. Because now I don't want to tell you I'm going through a divorce and you're telling me, oh bro, there's another girl who wants you. So what are you saying? Okay, we should go out to the club and party and all that. Okay, so men will do that. They will go to clubs and party and do that. But now tomorrow morning, it hits you, bro, I'm still in the same situation. You see? So for men, they should also do the same. Okay, try to encourage people, because I know maybe we don't do chamas. Chamas are very good for women. Okay, you get there, you talk about your husbands, your struggles, and you're good. By the time you're leaving that group, you're like, yes. Okay, like you even have solutions. Men, we don't do that. Okay, so it should help us to know that when our fellow man is struggling, we should genuinely listen and offer help. Okay, instead of now saying that, oh bro, you're struggling, we laugh about it, then we go and watch Manchester United. It doesn't help. Okay, so we should try to offer real solutions. So the whole case about men's mental health, I think it's everyone's responsibility. Not just women, not just men, like everyone. As long as you're around with this man that is struggling, you're supposed to try and make it easy for them.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you so much, Mr. Edwin Agasa.
You're welcome.
One of the lessons we can take away from today is that men's mental health is everyone's duty. You as a man, it's your duty. Us as women, it's our duty. And to everyone in our houses, it's our duty to ensure that we create a safe space for our men to be able to talk and share their problems without us hitting back with the same problems. This has been the AFTTTI Talks podcast. Until next time, bye-bye.